We bought a smart fridge. Translation: I bought a shiny rectangle because it promised to nag me about milk. She mocked it. My brother laughed, and I just wanted my cereal to stop suffering. From the curb, our marriage looked stable. 2 cars, 1 dog, joint Costco membership. Inside, my brother was helpful, like a raccoon with a toolbox. And our retirement money sat safe, like a squirrel no one was watching because apparently acorns are FDIC insured now. We had a system. She handled the finances better. I handled repairs, dinners, and trust, like it's a side hustle with terrible benefits. I'm the guy who labels cables and makes spreadsheets for fun. She makes pivot tables blink and tells me my fonts are chaotic. It felt efficient, until the micro red flag started spamming my eyeballs. Girls' night receipts from places with bottle service and suspiciously no girls. My brother's sudden generosity, like he found kindness on clearance. He brought steaks. He brought wine. He brought a smile that made me want to inventory the silverware. Meanwhile, I loved my dumb new fridge. It showed the weather, offered recipes I would never cook, and scolded me about eggs. It was my kitchen's life coach. Then one night, it pinged a family memo I wasn't supposed to see, because apparently our produce has better clearance than I do. I tapped expecting grab lemons, and got a sentence that changed my blood type. That's when I shifted from cereal-obsessed husband to soft-spoken forensics lab in sweatpants. The shiny rectangle stopped being an appliance and quietly applied for detective. I didn't blow up. I did what men do when we smell smoke but don't see flames. I went quiet and curious, and I started listening to my kitchen. The first glitch, the memo that wasn't mine. The fridge screen flashes, transfer clears Friday, same split. Initial B, because my brother can't spell alibi. I stared like it might sprout morals right there between the kale and the cream cheese. Same split of what, exactly? Lemons? Rent? Dignity? The cheerful font felt like the digital equivalent of a wink. That tiny B was a sticky note that said, "Champ, thanks for the 401k. I swiped with the courage of a man who just learned swiping left can ruin lives. Recent memos. Deleted threads. Guess what? My fridge has a petty streak and believes in archival justice. There they were. Berries heavy this week. Confirmed Friday. Lemons on council. Basil split, same as before. We haven't bought berries since the dog discovered strawberries are edible and became a smoothie with legs. Counsel? Our lawyer was a tax pamphlet and a shrug. Panic versus pride. Heart said yeet, brain said export. I didn't confront. I exported. I emailed the logs to myself with the subject line, "Definitely not salad," and I didn't touch anything else. If it was nothing, I'd be the paranoid idiot who emails produced to himself. If it was something, I was Noah building a binder for the flood. At 6:13 p.m., the doorbell rings. Brother B with steaks like a budget guilt offering. He holds them up like communion. "Thought we could grill," he says. The fridge pings as I take them. Inside cam snaps a photo of the door open, beefing, betrayal adjacent. He starts opportunities. She laughs like opportunity has dimples. The mic picks up clinks, a phone tap, the phrase "same split" like it's a grocery preference. I smile at my fridge like it just told me the forecast. The forecast is betrayal with a 100% chance of receipts. I host. I salt steaks. I ask about work. He mentions seed capital like he's a podcast. She nods with choreography she learned off YouTube. The fridge, bless its LED heart, takes a door-open snapshot every time someone grazes the handle. If a grape twitches, I get a portrait. One still grabs her hand on the memo screen, his finger tapping the initial thread, their heads leaning in. Domestic espionage with marinated sirloin. After dinner, I volunteer dishes because I'm tragic like that. While water runs, I scroll the appliance app. Memo history, list edits, tidy export button that basically says, "Would you like your heartbreak in CSV?" Yes, Susan, I would. The app hums, inbox chimes. Pantry log recent.xlsx. The weirdest love letter I've ever received. I open the bank app on a separate screen. There's a wire pending labeled B Consulting. Consulting who? Basil? My stomach tries to learn parkour. I don't confront. I go quiet calm. At 1:47 a.m., while the house sleeps and the dog dreams of HR violations, I create a new household profile called Guest, which in our home stands for Got Every Sneaky Thing. guest mirrors and autosaves memos, lists, edits, and apparently souls. If someone whispers lemon, guest files a sonnet. I enable door open snapshots and the motion activated inside cam. The app asks, notify on movement? Buddy, if a grape twitches, I want a mugshot and last known address. I toggle the mic sensitivity from polite to tell me everything. Is it creepy? Emotionally, yes. Legally? My appliance, my terms of service cardio. I sync the grocery list across devices and watch in real time like I'm live streaming domestic crime. Edits roll through. Basil, berries, mint, lemons. I start a code key on an index card tucked behind the takeout menus. Almond milk equals wire. Basil equals cash. Berries equals brokerage. Lemons equals legal. Mint equals motel receipts. Peaches shows up once. Fees. Congratulations to Garnish for having a criminal record. At 2:07 a.m., Raccoon with a spreadsheet mode. I pull bank statements. Map line items to grocery codes while the fridge hums moral support. Timeline forms. Memo edit at 4:12 p.m. List change at 4:14. Wire submitted at 4:17. If the kitchen had a badge, it'd read internal affairs. Next morning, I test the waters with a smile powered by toast and denial. Hey, you add berries to the list? Thinking waffles. She doesn't look up. Must have been me yesterday. Fascinating. Timestamp says my brother added them while she was on a call labeled dental. He pops by later with extra basil, winks at the memo screen, and I swear the lettuce sighed. By day 3, I have enough memos exported to wallpaper a courtroom. By day 5, my fridge and I are on a first-name basis. By day 7, I accept the stainless reality. It's not here to cook. It's here to snitch politely. I'm the tech-clueless husband who wanted milk reminders. I now own a kitchen that tracks time, temperature, and every lie uttered within 6 feet of its crisper drawer. I don't blow up. I build. Folder named Definitely Recipes. That is definitely not recipes. Subfolders. Berries, mint, lemons, basil, and one called You Have Got to Be Kidding Me. I print a clean one-page timeline and tape it inside a cabinet behind the spices. Every time I reach for cumin, Justice winks. And when my brother texts her on my fridge, mint plus berries plus lemons equal freedom, I pat the crisper and whisper, not for you, champ. The ice maker clicks like applause. Rule number 1, act dumb, archive everything. Rule 1 wasn't catch them. It was be so boring they forget you can read. Outside, I set my face to golden retriever. Inside, I turned into the Library of Congress with Wi-Fi. I didn't confront, I configured. Step 1, new household profile. I named it Guest, which in our house stands for Got Every Sneaky Thing. Guest mirrors, guest auto saves. Memos, saved. Lists, saved. Edits, saved with timestamps that could shame a space launch. If someone whispers lemon, guest writes a sonnet and files it under citrus, crimes. Then I toggled door open snapshots and motion detection. The app asked, notify on movement? Buddy, if a grape twitches, I want a portrait, social security number, and last known address. Every time the door cracked, click, another still. My camera roll went from dog selfies to a museum exhibit titled People Who Thought Produce Wasn't Listening. Next, the mic. I slid sensitivity from polite dinner party to nosy neighbor with binoculars. Ethically gray? Sure. Legally, it's my kitchen, my appliance, my terms of service cardio. Besides, if you're going to plot felonies within 6 feet of the crisper, that's not privacy. That's hubris with fridge lighting. I sync the grocery list across every device, like I was launching a team sports app for dishonesty. Real-time edits rolled through like notifications from Lucifer. Basil, berries, mint, lemons. I started a code key on a greasy index card hidden behind the takeout menus. Almond milk equals wire. Basil equals cash. Berries equals brokerage. Lemons equals legal. Mint equals motel receipts. Peaches equals fees. I added oregano just in case they branched into international crime. At 2:03 a.m., the house slept. I did not. I pulled bank statements like a raccoon with a spreadsheet and mapped entries to list edits while the fridge hummed moral support. Edit 4:12 p.m. List 4 years of 14 p.m. Wire 4:17 p.m. 3 dots making a straight line that spelled Please object, counselor. If my kitchen had a badge, it would read Internal Affairs, Cold Storage Division. I exported everything. If the app had a button labeled Send Betrayal to Excel, I would have smashed it like whack-a-mole. The file names were my favorite. Pantry log recent.xlsx, memo history quarter.csv, doorcam clips.zip. On my desktop lived a folder named Definitely Recipes that was basically a federal archive. Inside, berries, mint, lemons, basil, and one called areyouserious.com. To keep from screaming into the sink, I built a pretty one-pager for my sanity. Edit, memo, list change, bank movement, and a tiny screenshot of my brother's thumb near the memo screen like a caveman signature. I taped it inside the spice cabinet. Every time I reached for cumin, Justice winked. Acting dumb is cardio. Over breakfast, I asked, why does Guest keep adding basil? Are we opening a pizzeria? She didn't look up. Probably fat-fingered. Cool story. Except the timestamp said added by B, and my brother's fingers looked like Vienna sausages with gym memberships. He swung by that afternoon for the game, opened the door, and the camera grabbed a crisp shot of him tapping the memo thread with the confidence of a man who thinks stainless steel can't testify. I gave the fridge a job description. Stenographer. It recorded whispers like, quarterly draw, nobody audits gifts, and my personal favorite, same split, keep it quiet. That's a wild sentence to say near an appliance whose whole hobby is tattling. I named audio clips after snacks so I'd remember to breathe. Gummy bears, quarterly draw, YV. Pretzels, final sweep.mp3. Cashews, same split. .af. If a judge ever asks, I want to say, Your Honor, please refer to Fig Newtons, tab 3. To avoid a premature explosion, I set rules. No car confrontations, no kitchen yelling, no speeches without footnotes. When fury bubbled, I wrote it on a sticky note and slapped it under the coffee maker. Then I brewed decaf justice. I labeled jars for sanity and bit therapy. Flour? Sugar? Receipts. She laughed. Receipts? I smiled. I'm trying to bake. Not untrue. Also, nice cover for the binder the size of a Yorkie growing under the sink. 9 days in, the binder had tabs. Berries, mint, lemons, basil, timeline, audio, photos, bank. Every 30 minutes, I asked, would they keep watching? If the answer in my head was meh, I escalated. Add a still, pull a bank line, clip a whisper, paste a red arrow. My life became an episode with commercial breaks for hydration and pretending I didn't hear silent beneficiary pronounced like a love language. The fridge minded its business loudly. The ice maker clacked like golf applause. The water dispenser sighed like a therapist. At 11:42 p.m., it pinged. Family memo updated. Guest copied it to me like, hey buddy, you up? I was. I always was. And somewhere between the 15th screenshot and the 20th door cam click, I realized acting dumb wasn't just camouflage. It was bait. Let them relax. Let them talk. I'd archive everything while smiling like a man who can't find the paprika. Then, when the day came, I'd press play and let the stainless stenographer sing. The codebook, grocery list, wire transfers. Patterns started popping like acne before prom. Day 10, the list goes berries, berries, berries. And the bank goes brokerage, brokerage, brokerage. I stared at both screens like a proud parent at a terrible recital. Congratulations to me and my single functioning neuron. Berries equals brokerage. We had fruit with a 401k. Lemons were next. Every time lemons hit the list, an invoice from a law firm that sounds like two last names arguing over a boat showed up. Lemons equals legal. Of course it does. When life gives you lemons, apparently you retain counsel and bill me. Mint looked innocent until it didn't. Mint days matched little motel charges disguised as hospitality that were somehow always above a deli and below basic hygiene. Mint equals motel. Suddenly mojitos tasted like small claims court. Basil paced the list like it paid rent. On Basil days, the ATM coughed up cash withdrawals that smelled like an envelope passed under a table. Basil equals cash. Garnish had a criminal record now. Peaches only appeared once, and it lined up with account services fees, so Peaches equals fees. Adorable, if my spleen weren't filing whistleblower paperwork. I built a sheet because my coping mechanism is Excel. Column A, Date? B. Memo. C. List edit. D. Bank event. E. Are you serious? I color-coded like a kindergarten teacher with a vendetta. Berries red, lemons yellow, mint green, basil a different green. Festive, confusing, incriminating. Then I noticed his punctuation. When Brother B texted mint with a period, motel same day. Mint meant they'd push it to morning, because nothing says logistics like exclamation marks in adultery algebra. A lemon emoji showed up once. I printed it in color and fed it to the lemons tab like compost. The fridge app had a tiny shared matches cheat sheet I'd ignored. When I expanded it, it gave me initials. Brother's fridge texts, need mint and berries, plus lemons. If you take the initials, MBL, and scroll to the wire reference, there's MBL tagging the bank transfer like a toddler signing their artwork. The man branded his crime. His caps matched the reference ID so consistently, I wanted to send him a thank you card and a dictionary. Screenshots multiplied until my camera roll looked like a Wall Street true crime documentary narrated by a pantry. Stills, memos, timestamps cuddling with bank confirmations like they paid for dinner first. I grouped them by week. Week 2 total, 38 grand in berries and mint. I told a joke out loud to keep from redecorating the backsplash with feelings. Honey, do we need a bigger fruit bowl? The dog looked offended on fruit's behalf. I ran a dry run on a random Friday. At 3:41 p.m., the fridge logs berries heavy by Friday. At 3:43, list edit mint x2. At 3:47, he texts MBL. At 3:52, the bank confirms a transfer reference ending in MBL. At 4:06, an ATM spits basil. At 4:18, memo, lemons handled. If I handed that timeline to a room of first graders, they'd arrest my kitchen. To backstop the fridge, I planted a cheap pinhole cam in the cookbook stand, the one permanently open to rustic chicken, like we're auditioning for a fake farmhouse catalog. Perfect angle on the memo screen and 2 heads leaning in like they were smelling soup. There it was. Final sweep Friday, same split. His big thumb hitting confirm like a caveman inventing fraud. I named the clip Soup Smells Like Felony, .mp4h for morale. Baiting became sport. I said, out of town next week, to the dog like we were co-conspiring. Immediately, more berries, double mint, 2 lemons. Their math got ambitious when they thought the proctor left the room. Meanwhile, the fridge mic caught wind-up words. Seed always preceded a brokerage move. Tidy meant balance sweeps. Clean summoned the lemon people. The appliance wasn't judging, but the hum definitely developed an opinion. I started noticing the echo between lists and calendar. Her dental calls lined up with berries, which lined up with consulting descriptions that lined up with basil. She'd schedule girls' night. He'd post a gym selfie. The fridge would whisper mint. I mapped it all in a timeline poster with red arrows fat enough for the back row of a courtroom. Title at the bottom, Welcome to Consequences. Subtitle, This is why we don't text on stainless steel. For every 30 minutes I asked, would they keep watching? If not, I escalated. A door cam still here, a bank PDF there, an audio clip labeled like a snack. Gummy bears, quarterly draw, D-Wave. Pretzels, final sweep.mp3. Cashews, same split, DAF. If a judge ever asked, I wanted to say, Your Honor, please turn to gummy bears. The best part of a code book is the moment it stops being theory. One afternoon, the fridge pings. Mint? From Brother B. I answer out loud, alone in my kitchen. Sure, champ. Get toothpaste while you're there. The dog side-eyes me like he's filing amicus briefs. I added a micro legend to my index card. Berry burst equals brokerage due today. Lemon emoji equals lawyer is looped. Mint exclamation equals motel delay. Basil doubled equals splitting cash. My handwriting looked like a serial killer auditioning for TEDx. My spreadsheet looked like a confetti cannon of red flags. The last confirmation came courtesy of laziness, his. He fat-fingered a memo and typed lawyer, deleted it, and retyped lemons, then added the emoji like a garnish on guilt. Guest saved both. I printed them side by side and wrote fruit salad across the top with a highlighter. Amateur hour with produce. By then, the binder had weight. Pick it up wrong, and you'd pull a shoulder. Tabs? Berries, basil, lemons, mint, peaches, timeline, audio, photos, bank. In the front, one clean page labeled key. In the back, a sticky note. Make them explain fruit to a judge. I shut the cover, patted the stainless on my way to bed, and whispered to the fridge, "You, my petty little witness, are getting your day in court." The ice maker clacked like a tiny gavel. The Kitchen Whisper Network. The fridge mic picks up quarterly draw first, like it's clearing its throat. I'm pouring coffee, pretending to love mornings, and from 6 feet away, I hear her say it. Clean, casual, like past the salt. My shiny rectangle practically perks up. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if the judge likes it. 10 minutes later, the list quietly adds lemons. 15 after that, a bank fee appears. My ice maker clicks like it's clapping with oven mitts. She clocks my dog walk schedule like it's a sundial. Calls happen the second I jiggle the leash. Cute. Unfortunately, my fridge timestamp's better than the IRS. Monday, 7:12 a.m., quarterly draw. 7:16, lemons added. 7:19, bank. I pet the dog and whisper, "We're auditing, buddy." He blinks once like he's been waiting his whole life for compliance. Wednesday, Brother B swings by to grab a drink, which is adorable because the only thing he ever grabbed growing up was the handle. He opens the door, cool air whooshes, inside cam frames him like a mugshot with produce, and he stage whispers, "Silent beneficiary." The mic grabs every syllable. I Google that phrase like a dad trying to understand TikTok and learn silence is expensive. I export the clip and name it Gummy Bears Quarterly Draw.wav because snacks keep me from setting the toaster on fire. They love planning in decimals. 2 mint, 1 lemon, then berries Friday. It sounds like a sorbet recipe for prison. Guest logs each syllable, and my app lights up like a Christmas tree for accountants. I add Pretzel's Final Sweep.mp3 to the binder because nothing takes the edge off felony algebra like carbs. She tries synonyms, thinks she's clever. Keep it tidy. Make it clean. Cute. Tidy means sweet. Clean means the lemon people. The fridge doesn't judge, but the hum develops opinions. I start trapping their whisper window. I step onto the porch, jiggle the leash, count to 5 Mississippi, then stop just outside. Inside, Crisper turns conference table. He hisses, "Final Sweep Friday." She answers, "Same split." The sink drips like a metronome for felonies. My dog's tail thumps a steady objection. Export day becomes ritual. Coffee, email, download, rename. Goldfish, nobody audits gifts. .m4a. Trail mix, beneficiary.wave. Cashews, same split. .af. The folder looks like a vending machine for prosecutors. I imagine the judge saying, "Counsel, turn to gummy bears," and my soul does a tiny fist pump. Twice, she goes speakerphone. The fridge net snatches it like a third grader with a butterfly. A voice says, "Quarterly draw is routine. Nobody audits gifts." I consider mailing them a gift, a calculator duct taped to a conscience. Instead, I file the clip and make eggs like I respect protein and revenge. Every timestamp feeds the ledger. 6:58 a.m., keep it tidy. 7:03, lemons. 7:09, bank fee. Thursday at 8:41 p.m., motel above the deli. Mint appears 10 minutes later. They're writing an opera. My fridge is the pit orchestra. Guest even catches a muffled seed before a brokerage move, like a trailer for a movie nobody should finance. Just to be crystal, I didn't bug a diary. I pressed on in a kitchen I pay for.